right, let's do this. We are the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm your co-host, Joel Cheeseman. Joined as always, Chad Sowash is here as we welcome Jolene Hostal.
Hello.
Director of HR at Stanley Steemer. Welcome to HR's Most Dangerous Podcast.
The carpet cleaning
Thank
company.
you.
Good to be here. Jolene, a lot of our listeners, viewers won't know who you are. Give us a little bit about you. And for those that don't know, Stanley Steemer, maybe just a sentence or two about what Stanley Steemer does.
Yeah, so Jolene Hostal, the Director of HR. I have been with Stanley Steemer for going on 19 years.
Hello.
Yeah, it's fun. That's why I stay, right? Stanley Steemer, it is an 80-year-old company, but we are, looking to be young and
Vibrant,
right? Exactly.
Dope.
That's why we're partnering. That's why we partnered with Paradox. We're doing some cool things there. But yeah, Stanley Steemer. It's a carpet cleaning company. But we do anything in your house, really. Floors, tile.
Laminate.
duct cleaning.
Laminate, duct cleaning.
Duct cleaning,
We do
that's a
air
new
duct
thing.
Cleaning.
Yeah.
Yep,
Tile.
absolutely.
If you
Tile,
have a
grout.
duct, they'll clean it.
We'll clean it. We'll do your dryer vents. We'll do everything.
I think that's called job security because
Yeah.
those things aren't going to go.
It's called expanding the
anytime
TAM.
soon. Yeah.
Expanding the TAM. Is
Yeah.
There's a carpet. There's an
Absolutely.
opportunity.
There's
Absolutely. If you have floors in your house, we're going to clean them.
So how many people do you hire in a year? How big is your staff, and how many people do you generally hire in a year?
Yeah, so we have 57 corporately owned locations,
Okay.
and then around 200 franchises. On the corporate side, we hire about 2,500 individuals a year.
Okay.
Yeah. And a lot of those are cleaning techs. And our customer service advisors. So we also have a call center that when you dial 1-800-STEAMER, one of our agents answers the phone and gets you where you need to go.
So you're looking to do
Can I get a
cool.
job by calling 1-800-STEAMER?
Not you.
Yeah.
Not me. Is
Someone,
that a multi-functional?
you know what? Maybe. Yeah.
spot?
I mean, we definitely run you through the process.
Okay.
I'm not gonna let you in people's homes. So you're trying to stay. You're trying to stay young and vibrant. To tell us about that. You assimilate that to Paradox. What are you doing to stay young and vibrant in the whole talent acquisition side of that?
Cool
Well,
tech.
I think, I mean, obviously partnering with Paradox over the last 3 years, our relationship has definitely grown in terms of making our processes better, faster, more efficient. Our cleaning tech position is our high volume position, and they really like to get to this process quickly. So
I bet, yeah.
yeah, so having a chatbot is really cool for us. Our chatbot's named Maria. We put our technicians through that. They chat with Maria and get their application in 90 seconds or less. So, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And we've recently partnered with Dayforce, which just made our technology explode really quickly. We can get backgrounds and drug tests back really quickly.
Okay.
So, yeah.
So Dayforce is a background check solution.
Dayforce is our human capital management system, but we partner with First Advantage, does our background checks and DTs.
So everything's in Dayforce.
Everything's in Dayforce.
So when all of that's happening through Paradox, all the information's being pushed into your system of record, which in this case is your HCM, which is Dayforce.
Correct. Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
And that's the cool part.
Yep.
You're doing it faster. Is this something where you had to go more mobile? Are these individuals pretty much out and about all the time, so they're not sitting around on a laptop?
Exactly. They are our cleaning techs they're not in front of their computer. So we have to be mobile friendly, and we have to make the process really short and sweet and right to the point. So yeah. They're cleaning carpets. It's a hard job. Yeah. So they're focused on what they're doing before they, come to apply. So
You have a system of franchisees as well as the corporate office. Talk about how the challenges of those are part of your daily existence. Are the franchisees a separate problem from the corporate? Do they intermingle? How does that work?
Yep. So we don't really, our franchise owners are their owners. They are business owners. They have the autonomy to be able to do whatever they would like with their business. So we really support the 57 corporate locations. So we work really closely with them in terms of getting it's probably about 2,000 technicians that we get through the door every year, and probably 200 CSAs. There's about 150 employees at our home office right now. So,
And you guys, I would assume, kind of like set the standard, brand standard,
Yep.
and then probably, I mean, from a system standpoint, they get to choose their own systems that they want to use, but they probably look to you guys.
for the guidance, yep, absolutely, they do. And you're right, brand standard, marketing sets the brand standard, and then everyone kind of, follows suit.
Yeah.
And they get to do their own thing, though. It's a really cool franchise model. A lot of our franchisees came from the corporate side, so we have really good partnerships with them. They know how to run the business. They've been on the corporate side, and then they buy a franchise. So it's pretty cool.
Is that easier for you if they're on the same systems?
It is easier for us if they're on the same systems, but we don't care. I mean, we'll support them no matter what.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You hire a lot of technicians.
We do.
What are your most effective ways of getting in front of them?
I think our most effective ways in getting in front of them is, making sure that we're meeting them where they are in terms of like Indeed, making sure our process is quick, and making sure that they understand what they're doing for their job. So we have a unique process, I say, in terms of once we have them apply, we have them come in for like a group interview, and then we have our manager talk and tell them all about, what we do and how we do it.
Define a group interview for those that don't know.
Is this what we call a cattle call?
Well, I mean, I guess maybe, but we also do individual interviews at that same time, but we have them come in and we give a presentation of like, hey,
Okay.
this is who we are
Yeah.
at this location. This is who Stanley Steemer is, A lot of people have heard the jingle, right? But they don't know all the different products and services that we offer. So we want to make sure that they understand that before they, get on board.
Feels like a team meeting almost.
Almost, yes.
Yeah?
What does a typical technician look like? How old are they? Education? Like what if you were creating a profile of a technician, what do they typically look like?
I would say they're usually roughly between the ages of like 20 to 30. It's a hard job, like I said. So it's sometimes 2 showers a day. You're moving furniture. It's definitely a physical job. And if you like to drive around, you kind of get to be your own boss, We tell you where the job is. We don't tell you how to do the job. You show up, you get to work with the customer and really drive the sales and the revenue of the company that way. So, I mean, it's kind of cool. You're kind of your own boss for the day. We don't really, dictate how you interact with the people, so with our customers.
So Indeed is the primary driver. You're not doing like social media marketing. You're not doing traditional stuff like billboards or
No,
TV
actually,
ads.
and so Diana, my counterpart, she really handles that part, and she really feels like Indeed is probably our best source of sourcing candidates for right now. I always pop in like, hey, let's do some employee referrals if we have a good location with like a lot of, with a lot of good technicians there. Why not bonus our employees? I mean, I think it makes sense from.
Why haven't you so far done that?
We have.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, we do in certain locations. So I will say, if they're good employees, we want their friends.
Yeah.
So we'll incentivize them to do that.
So we talking more strategically, you've been able to, can you help us understand going down the funnel, what you've currently done and what you would like to do next? And then how much further you want to take that, just from the standpoint of using technology, maybe agentic technology. We're here at an event where you're going to have a bunch of your peers who might already be doing some of this stuff. What do you want to learn from them?
I mean, I want to learn how we can maybe keep people a little bit longer.
Okay.
I think getting them through the funnel, we've really perfected over these past couple of years. Like I said, we do it really quickly, but how we maintain them, is probably my biggest hurdle in terms of retention. So we put some things in place to help with that, but. Yeah, that's probably our biggest challenge, right?
And that's for corporate jobs.
Yeah.
Okay. For
Yeah,
corporate
for technicians.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, our home office, we have really high retention rate at our home office.
Okay.
And even our customer service advisors tend to stay with us a long time. But our technicians, I would love to be able to help them stay a little bit longer in the role.
Well, from your promotional pieces, it sounds like they are. 73% of your managers started out as technicians.
That is true.
That sounds like a good thing to me.
Yeah.
Is that a low number from your perspective, or is that about where you want to be?
No, but it's at a managerial role, right?
Right.
So, I mean, at our technician level, if they can work their way up the ranks, then they definitely do stay, I will say. No, I think that's a great number. A lot of our district managers, even our employees at a home office, came from the trucks. So, I mean, it's a really good, company to work for in terms of retention from a home office standpoint.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Guys, this is the Chad and Cheese Podcast. I'm Joel, he's Chad. She's Jolene with Stanley Steemer. This is the AI series. We out.
We out.